Hello, welcome to Microsoft Excel with EJD. This video is the third one in the series for Microsoft Excel. And in the first instance, we talked about getting started with Excel, where we get familiar with things like the tabs, the columns and the rows and the cells, which is the intersection of columns and rows and all that. Then we moved on to formatting, how to how to format text, how to format numbers, currency, time, and things like that. So in this third video, we're looking at basic formulas and functions in Excel. And I'll be using this data set for student scores. And just like I said, of course, these are not now real students. I just use student ID, so nobody's name is used as much as possible. So that is what we'll be considering. And so, but let me, before I come back to those things, of course, like I said already, you can adjust this when you first open. You can always adjust this like this. Let me see if I can also expand the screen. Okay, let's see. I want to make it as clear as possible. Okay, so one thing you can do is most times if you want to highlight everything, you can come to the first cell, that's cell A1, and press Control A. So it covers everything. So here we have 50 students. Now I want to centralize everything, need some kind of format. So I click on this, then I click again, so it's centralized, right? Then I think this is already bold. Okay, now it's bold. Okay, it's already bold, so we can have this. So, but before I go on with what we're dealing with today, let me just open a new sheet where we introduce ourselves to the basic ideas. So we're talking about basic formulas and functions in Excel. So, first of all, understanding formulas and cell references. First of all, we already know that a cell is an intersection between a row and a column. So rows are numbered while columns are alphabetized. If I can say it that way. So where row 4 meets with cell B is B4. So the cell address is B4. So the first cell is where row 1 meets with column A, and that's why it is called A1. So formulas in Excel begin with an equal sign. So anytime you want to impute a formula in Excel, you must start with equality. So once you start with equality, the next thing Excel is expecting is that you're going to type a formula. So that's really important. All right. So formulas in Excel begin with an equal sign and allows users to perform calculations using values, cell references, and functions. So you need equality sign in a cell. Then if you need to refer to another cell, you can also do that. For instance, let's assume that I have, okay, well, now that let me even finish the idea of equality, right? So if you need to add something here, you can just say 34 plus 9. Okay, okay, I've jumped now. I've jumped. Okay, let's just go step by step first. We'll get there. So a formula like A1 plus B1. So let's assume you have a number here. Say you have 13 here, and that's A1. In B1, you have 67. And in C, you want to sum it up. All right. So you can just say is equal to this. So you can click on A1 or you type it plus, the first one I click, the second one I'm going to type B1. All right. So it does, and it's not case sensitive. So you can type small letter B and you still get your result. So 13 plus 67. So you can see the result. So this is the formula here. So if you press enter, so if you go back, you see the result, but you see the formula backing it up here, right? And of course, I could have done that straight in a single circle. Just say is equal to 13 plus 67, and then you get your 80 in that place too. But if you want to see the two numbers, so if, for instance, you want to say, you can even create headers for this. Maybe you want to sum up two scores for several students. So you have score 1, all right? And then you have score 2. Score 2, and then this can now be the total. So you have the total here. Okay, so all you just need to do is continue to type these scores now. Okay, let's overwrite this since okay, I mean, I've been able to demonstrate that, right? So you can just say 32, 32 again, say 23, and another maybe 56. I'll do it up to 5. I mean, up to 5 students, so to speak, 25, and then I say 45 and 66. So then we want to total this cost. So normally I could just come here too and say is equal to A3 plus B3, right? And that will give me the result. But the beautiful thing is, what if you have like 1,000? So all you just need is do one, and then you can autofill. So and to autofill, you come to the first one, where you've applied that, and bring your cursor, bring it to this corner, and once that black arrow appears, then you can hold it down. So that you hold down your tab button, and then drag it down. Automatically, it will sum up for the rest of them. So that's one way to go. So you need cell addresses and all of that. So you can centralize the whole of this if you think it's necessary. That's formatting. Now you can make this bold if you like that. Okay, so that goes. So there are two types of cell references. You have relative and absolute. So relative references is like cell A1 when we copy to another cell, whereas absolute references is this which remains fixed regardless of where they are copied, right? So you can have cell A1. So if I say cell A1, okay, for instance, if I say is equal to cell A1 and press enter, so it just brings whatever is in cell A1 here, basically. All right. So it means you can transfer things by just saying is equal to that cell. So if I say is equal to, if this cell now, cell L, okay, this is cell L12. So if I say cell L12 is equal to, say, is equal to C6. So it means I'm transferring whatever is at 6, okay, C6. So it's transferring this formula here now. Okay, this is equal to cell. Okay, this is C6, not C7. So this is equal to C6 actually, and then it brings this value here. So now it's no longer worried about the formula, just concerned about this thing here. All right. So that is like absolute referencing. Yeah, that is relative referencing, but you can have absolute referencing where you have something like say is equal to dollar, that's C6, $6, $C, enter. Okay, still brings that, but then you see, in this case now, this brings C6. So, the relative references, which is A1, change when copied to another cell. So if you copy to another cell, it will change, whereas absolute references remain fixed regardless of where they are copied. So mastering cell referencing is essential for building dynamic and reusable formulas, and that goes. So if we copy this now and take it elsewhere, we keep having the same thing. But this one now, if I copy this and bring it here, you see it has changed because it is actually it's not absolute, it is relative. So so if you want to maintain that value of C6 anywhere you take it to, it will always be that. But as you move, if you copy this now, move it here, it turns to another thing entirely. So that's the idea there. So let's talk about some basic math operation. Of course, we've done a bit of that, right? Like we've talked about addition. So this is addition, right? So what if one, so let me even call it addition here. Addition. That's how addition goes. Then let's say we want to now do subtraction. Subtraction, you can extend this. So you want to subtract A2 from A1, or B2 from A1, for instance. So you just say is equal to whatever you have here. This is A2. So that's A2 minus the thing after it, that is B2. So and you get your minus 54. To get the rest, just bring it down. So you get those results like that. So that is for subtraction. So what if you want to multiply? So we'll go for multiplication. Okay. And we have this. So to multiply, you have is equal to, we use asterisk for multiplication. So if you want to multiply score 1 by score 2, so just a score 1, asterisk, score 2, right? And you press enter and you get 1040. Then you can drag it down. So for you to know why this is happening like this, if you put this here now, it has automatically done it as A6 multiplied by B6, right? That's why you have by C6 rather. A66. Okay, something is wrong with this. I want to do A2, right? so this should be A2 multiplied by B2. Not that's called 2 now. A2 by B2, that's what we want. So that's A2 by B2, and we can drag it down so it can just correct the rest. Yes. So here you have A6 by multiplied by B6, you have A5 multiplied by B5, and you have A6 multiplied by, I mean A4 multiplied by B4, and so on and so forth. So we have done addition, subtraction, multiplication. Now, what if you want to do division, right? Division. Okay. So for division, all you just need to do, again, every formula starts with equality. So you have equal to this divided by, so you use front arrow by the second one. So it gives you these values, and you can drag down also, right? So it means this one is like, this is your A6 divided by B6. So these operators can be combined to perform multi-step calculations, such as A1 plus A2 star B1. So, you can combine all of these things together, right? So what if you want to say, you want to add the first two and subtract the third one? I mean, you can do things like that. So what if you want to do power? Say, for instance, you want to square each score. You want to square, let's say you just want to square, only score the first scores under column A. So you just do this, just say is equal to, so this score now, raise it to power 2 and press enter. All right. So you use cap 2, that's on top of 6 now, depending on what the keyboard you're using. And then you can drag this down, then it squares everything for you. All right. So let's say you want to do, let's do a miscellaneous calculation now. I'll just do anything I like, and then I'll drag it down. So here, let's say we want to add, okay, this happens a lot. It tells us, gives an error. So you have A1 plus A2, close bracket, then multiplied by, say, C1. Oh, sorry, what did I do? A1 multiplied by A1 plus B1, right? A1 plus, oh, okay, that's A2, sorry, A2 plus B2, okay, multiplied by C2, then you now say minus D2, okay? So you add the first two and subtract from. So you see A2 plus B2 multiplied by C2, then everything now subtract D2. So you get this. Now you can drag it down for the rest, right? So hope it has been okay. Yeah, I think this is clearer to see now. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we've done. So you can see the formula backing this up by just clicking on the cell. So here you have A2 plus B2, and then check the last. You have A6 plus B6. So everything goes on like that. Then for subtraction, you have A2 minus B2. Here you have A6 minus B6. Multiplication, A2 times B2, and here you have A6 times B6. Division, A2 divided by B2. That's front slash, and then this A6 divided by B6. Then you can square A2 square, A6 square, this is A4 square. Then here I just did everything. So A2 plus B2 multiplied by C2 minus D2. Then same A6 plus B6 multiplied by C6 minus D6. We have that also happening like that. Okay. So having said all of this, then we can talk about averages and things like this. Okay, well, at this point, I want to go back to the original sheet now that we are used to how to do all of this now. So imagine we want to apply different formulas to do different things. For instance, so since you have known the basic things, right? So the summing we did the other time, we were able to add it one after the other. But what if you have many? So like imagine you have like 100 scores and you want to add everything up. That can be a lot of trouble, right? So let's imagine now you want to get total score. We have 50 students here. We have 50 students in a class, and we have their scores in English, math, science, history, and geography. So first of all, we need the total score for each student. Total score. So for the total score now, so it means you're going to have is equal to, normally, if I want to follow what I did before, I'll just say this plus this plus this plus this plus That's B2 plus C2 plus D2 plus D2 plus F2. Press enter and you get your result and you can drag it down. But what if you have more than that? Number one, you can make a mistake here and type the wrong cell address. So instead of doing that, you can just worry only about the first and the last cell. And in that case, what you can do is you just say is equal to sum because you're adding. So you can do it in capital or small. So you can also have you have different kinds of sums that you can explore. But I'll just use this first sum. So sum, then open bracket, start with the first one, put full colon, all right, and you have the B2 coming up again, and then click on the last one or type it if you can to press it, and you get the same result. So now you're summing from B2 to F2. So you get the same result like you got before. Now you can autofill by just dragging it all the way to the 50th student, and then you have all those results coming out for you. So we can centralize at once, right? So you see that's the total score. So because this is a special place now, you can then color code to show, oh, now this is not part of the raw score. So you have begun to process. So you can use this yellow thing now. What else can we find out? We can also find the average score for each student, right? Average score. So we have average score. So to get average score for this student now, all you just need to do is you just say is equal to average, all right? Is equal to average, open and close. So the first one is English as usual, and then the last one. So this comes always double. Then you put this, and you can press enter even like this. So you also have the average score this way. So you can then autofill, autofill. Why is this so hard now? Okay, let me try again. Okay, I guess I need to shrink it a bit. Yeah, autofill, just drag it all the way down. Yeah, and then you get that we can centralize immediately. You see, we are formatting as we are doing all these things. Now, we have this. So, we are talking about basic formulas now. So we have got sum, we have got average. Now, what if you want to know the minimum score? All right. If you want to know the minimum score, okay. For instance, you want to know the minimum score in each subject and overall. Okay, we can do minimum score, right? So in this case, let's now come here and say we want to do minimum score. Minimum score. Okay. So for minimum score now, okay, let's color code this to be, say, some other light color. This is average score, right? So this is average score for each student. So let's say we want to autofill it to be something very light this way. Yeah, we have this. So for the minimum score, you want to have minimum score in each subject and overall. So all you just need to do is just say is equal to, okay, before you even start, you should know what's the first cell and the last cell in the range. So imagine you have to say, like, for instance, if you wanted to add the score in English now, and you now have to add 50 score, that's a lot, right? But here we just want to know the minimum of this 50. So you don't need to type everything one after the other. So the first cell in the range is B2, and the last cell in the range is B51. It's very important. So you now say is equal to minimum B2, all right, and then full colon B51, right? Press enter. So it tells you, oh, so the least score in English is 50, okay? So then, just like we did before, you can also autofill this and drag it all the way down. So the least score in English is 50. Then you can trace the person that got that 50. So you can even use what is it called now? The auto formatting, the conditional formatting to get people that scored 50. So this person had 50. Who's the student? Oh, I saw 50 not quite long. Yeah, I think, let's see. Yeah, student 38 got 50. I think that's the only person that got 50. So so 51 is the lowest in the second course. Now, sometimes you cannot see this thing. So you cannot see the heading. So how do you do it so that even if you move away, you can still see your heading all the time? I think let me see that. You can lock in this. So we can right click on this and say no, format as row height. Let me see. This is merge and center. So let me see, is it about data? Remove duplicates, consolidate, forecast, group on group. Yeah, I want to lock down that header. Is it view now? Grid lines, headings, zoom selection, freeze panes. Yeah, I think it's freeze panes. So if I click on this, so I just want to freeze the top row. Okay, I want to freeze the top row. So you see, when we moved before, we couldn't see this row. Okay, now we can freeze it. So I think that's under view. So if you want to freeze this top row now, so instead of having to move every time, so just click on that row, all right, and then just come to, oh, do you even have to click? I don't think it's necessary to click. Let me see. Let me undo this. Okay, let's go. Oh, okay, it's still done. Okay, Control Z. Is it still the same? Oh, okay. Okay, that doesn't even affect anything. So let's do our Control Y. Okay, nice. So we have freeze panes. So uh okay, so if I click on this, it's on, I think it's on frozen now. Or do I have to click on it? Freeze paint. So I can click on unfreeze paint. Now it's on frozen. So if I go, I won't see it again. But because you have many cells now, if you go, no matter how far you go, you always want to be able to see that first line. So I just click and I just say freeze paints, or say freeze top row. Okay. So if you freeze top row, no matter where you go, you always see the top row. So I don't have to be wondering, is this for math? Is this for English? So now that we have all this again, we can also centralize, even though it's horizontal. So I can come home and centralize like this. Okay. So these are the lowest scores in each subject. And this is the lowest total score is 319, whereas the lowest average score is 633.8, right? So student 50 has the lowest score. Maybe there's another person. Yeah, student 50 is the worst performing student in the class with 63.8. So that must be a very brilliant class. So what about the maximum score? So we can do the maximum score. Okay, for maximum score, we just do the same thing. We just say is equal to max. All right, open B2 to B51. Press enter. So the highest score. So if you want to give awards now, that's what you do. So the highest score, the person with the highest score in English, the person had 98. So you can trace out the person who had 98. Okay. That is student 42 had 98. Then you have 98, 99 across like that. So, and then the total score for the uh okay, well, I mean, these total scores may not even make sense because different people had these scores. So this may not be necessary, actually. All these, you cannot some different student scores for one person. So these are the top scores. So here now you can know the least performing and the best performing students in each subject, right? So now another thing we may want to do is this. We can copy this whole thing now. So just come to cell A1, press Control A and press Control C, then go to sheet 2. Oh, we've done sheet 2 before. Go to sheet 3 and then just paste. You can paste by using Control V. Okay. So paste by using Control V so you can extend, so you can see everything that you should be seeing there. So you extend, or I mean, just fit the width. Right, that's what it is. Sometimes it will shrink, sometimes it will enlarge. So you have the average score and all this now. So, we've seen minimum score, maximum score in each subject and everything like that. Now, what if, you may want to rank the students. So if you're interested in knowing the positions in each subject, or, okay, the one we may want to deal with first is maybe we want to just, okay, let me try to expand this a little bit if possible. Yeah. Think this is better. So now we want to rank the students according to their position, right? So we just have say okay, so we can highlight everything, right? And then we go to sort and filter. So we go to sort and filter and we just say if we just sort from A to Z, like if you need if we had actual names, right, you can just sort A to Z to note according to the student names. But here we just have student identification. So I just go to custom sort, and then I say sort by, we want to sort by the average score or total score, anyone. So we can sort by average score, or even, yeah, to do the same job, average score, and we are using cell values from largest to smallest, so we can know from first position to the last position, and we say okay. And once you do this, you can already see the best student. The best students, there's a tie, so we have position here. So you have two people who, okay, I mean, normally, let's just be blind to the scores, right? We just say the first person is, this person is first, and then this person is, so from first now, you can just drag the rest down, and then you just autofill. So we have the first to 50 students, right? So first to 50. So student 26 is the best student. Although there's a tie between student 26 and 40, they are the top two students. Student 3 is third position. There's a tie between student 19 and 36. They are both in what you can call, this is first, third, then fourth, then you have sixth, and it goes on like that. So that way you can find the position. So the best student in this class is the first student up there. That's student 26, right? So we have that. So there are many more things you can do. So these are some basic formulas. There are many more we can do, but let's see. We've talked about autofilling to copy formulas. We have seen how to calculate totals and averages for sample data, right? So beyond this, right, we also want to find the best in each subject. You want to go to that level. So in that case, you just focus on the scores in each subject and things like that, right? So that actually can work. Okay, so yeah, I think I want to stop here for this. So you can try. Of course, you're going to get this sheet, so there are more things you can do with this. So if you're a teacher in a school and you've been having a hard time computing results for your students, Excel can easily help your life. You don't have to waste time trying to do all of these things, right? So it's very important to master all these things. Okay, so apply this function. Okay, yeah. I mean, just master all this and you'll be very fine. Okay, so thank you so much for listening. This is the end of this video. Let me know how helpful this is for you. And if there's something you like when you try out, feel very free to let me know. If you have subscribed already, you are already having a nice time. If you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can always get alerted each time a new video is released. You can become a member of my channel by just click on join, and you see different layers of levels of membership you can join with attached privileges for sure. And then you can also, I mean, my code sheets, my Excel sheets, in this case, my Excel workbooks are available. Just click on the link on the description in the description box on Facebook or YouTube, and then to take it to the Google Drive where you can download these things. Be sure to like and share this video and every other video on this channel as much as possible, so more people can have access to this great content. Till I come your way again, keep doing data right. I mean, let's just beautify this lastly by just adding borderlines, because like I said, if you don't add borderlines by yourself, you won't, the lines you see here, they will not show by the time you print, for instance. So I just say all borders. So now it's a bit more beautiful, to behold. So you can take it off from where I have stopped now. You see this Excel workbook in the drive, and then you can do what you want to do. I have saved like that. All right, so keep doing data right. Bye.